Okay, rinse out again then, please. Hey guys, so today is oxtails, goat, yuca, cabbage, beans, rice, and I also bought one nice thick steak that I can cut into 2 portions for my significant other and my daughter in case they don't like the oxtail and the goat. And I'm also trying for the first time on my own making cookies from scratch, and they're going to have caramelized bananas on them, and I'm serving them with store-bought cinnamon roll flavored ice cream. So we're gonna get started. As you can see, I got everything set up, supplies are out, all my Caribbean seasonings, all my stuff, mixer, just everything. So I'll be back in a few once I've started the cookies. All right. Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to use today is yuca, which is something I don't have a particular lot of experience with, but I do know that it's extremely hard and that it is a root vegetable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in water and let them boil just to soften them a little, because I think it'll be easier to cut through them that way. I know a lot of people cut them when they're raw, but I don't want to do that. I want to boil them first so I can cut through them, and then I'm probably going to end up either slow roasting them along with the cabbage. I think that is what's going to happen. Actually, I know that's what's going to happen. I'm going to slow roast it along with cabbage and some curry flavors. So I'll be back in a bit to show you that, but I'm about to try to start the cookies in just a few minutes. Be back shortly. So got most of the mixture really done and well, but not all of it. So now what you see me doing is finishing this mixing up by itself, because you'll often end up with some flour and sugar at the bottom that didn't do exactly what you wanted it to. So I just like to do a last stir and get it all myself. And then we're just going to transfer it to a bowl so it can chill till later on this afternoon when I'm actually ready to make cookies. It looks so good. Ugh. And it tastes even better. It's nice and thick. Just want it to firm up. So it'll go to the fridge to do that. But this is confection heaven, let me tell you. So sweet. And I thought it was a flavor wheel that would go good with a Caribbean dinner. Because we always think plantains, bananas, you know, tropical things. So why not make a nice tropical cookie with some bananas in it. I don't like wasting anything, so I'm trying real hard to get most of this batter out of here. Bear with me. Change hands, because my stronger hand is my right arm, so I need the stronger hand for holding this big old bucket. Baking is so messy. Baking and making pasta are 2 of the messiest things in the world. So I got most of it out. So I'm just going to go clean it now. We'll let it soak. Turn some water on. And the next thing I'm getting ready to do, so I bought my peppers and onions and stuff already sliced today, because I'm a bit in lazy mode today. I have a gazillion things to do. So the only thing I am going to slice up is celery and red onion, but I'm doing that in the food processor because I want them to be very tiny and hard to find in our oxtail and goat dishes. They're more or less just for flavoring, more so than you need to really know they're in there. So, yeah, that. And I'm going to go get this setting in the fridge, so later on today when I'm ready to make cookies, we'll be good to go. And when we come back, you'll see me doing the first part of simmering and seasoning and doing everything to the oxtails and to the goat. They've been marinating for 4 hours now, which I feel is long enough. So now we're going to move on to the next steps, which also will include me making something similar to ketchup that is supposed to be in your oxtail. So I'll be back in a few. Just like that, we're back. I just do that to make it easier to edit them, guys. Okay. My daughter is over here breaking my concentration, doing crazy dance moves. Not sure why she's in my kitchen space doing this kind of stuff. But I'm also going to grab some butter because we're actually going to turn this into a compound butter for our stuff. A compound butter just means you took some stuff, you food processed it down, you added butter, and you whipped it some more so that you have a butter that's full of flavor. Compound butters are often served on top of steaks, but I use mine actually usually as an actual seasoning when I'm cooking. And hopefully we have just enough here for both dishes, for the oxtail and for the goat. Pour some of my liquid in, get it going. All right, we got some of that in there. Now we're gonna, that's mojo seasoning. All right, we're down low enough currently. Actually, it is a slow drop, a slow drizzle, as you'll see. So we're just gonna try to get the butter in from the side here without getting that seasoning everywhere. I should have put the liquid in after. But when you get silly mistakes like that, as long as you're paying attention, you can still catch it. So I'm using some salted sweet cream butter here. All right. So I'm just gonna begin to, you can hold this up directly over if you're paying attention to what you're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these up first. Get them all in there. Get it in there, spread it around. I'm gonna do the second one, because I want to make sure I have enough butter for both dishes. Just making sure we got enough butter to really turn this into a nice butter. All right, put our top back on, and we go. It's time to go again. Give it a little break, because I found out one time I went too hard with my motor here and it started smoking, so I paused her, give her a moment to think it through, make sure we still cool with each other, and then go from there. We're gonna give her a rest again. I just really don't want to tear up my food processor. I'm getting a really big one soon, a 14-cup one, but for now this baby's got to get me through, so. All right. Again. And at this point, because this is taking 2 tomorrow, we're just going to do this. See? She got angry. Not sure what happened there. Hopefully I didn't tear it up. She acts crazy sometimes, y'all. Oh. Alright, I think that is plenty. Yeah, she was like, it's not safe. It's not closed all the way, so I'm not going to work. All right. So here you see all of that goodness infused with that butter. I'm going to put the top back on it until I need it, which actually isn't going to be too long from now because I'm about to, tastes really good. I'm about to get out. We got some real strong flavors in here. But when you're slow cooking something like this, it's going to be slow cooked. The strongness of it will cook down some, which is a really good thing. Alright, so I'm going to stop this and I'll be right back with you guys in a second. Alright guys, so we're going to get these pots going. So right now what we have is grapeseed oil. Alright, just a little bit on the bottom. I'm also going to grab gonna be grabbing a few things here. So if you see me walk away, only reason is I'm really organized. I have everything out, but there's not no space for it in this area. So forgive if it seems like, why is she so unorganized? No, I'm just gonna have the space I need in here. That's all this is. All right. So these really nice single size Crisco oil, Crisco lard, if you want to call it, things. We're going to use about a half of one of these in each one of these dishes. Alright, so we're just going to take out one whole bar. You don't have to use this in it, but I just feel like it gives it extra flavor. So we go into today, because you do already have an oil in there, but I feel like this definitely helps. I'm going to set the second one in the fridge till I need it. The goat doesn't take quite as long to stew as the oxtail, so we're going to get the oxtails going first. Okay, so in here, let's see, there's one more item I need to grab. Where did it go? There it is. So on this first step of doing these, like the first step, you're kind of building your flavors, but there's kind of something else going on too. And as a matter of fact, I do need to stop it because we got another. All right, so we're back. Now we're going to put just a little bit of the ketchup mixture that we made in there. Oh, it smells so good. I'm going to let that brown real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry that I left you for those few minutes. Oh, and y'all couldn't even see it. The point was so you could watch it boil, because I know people love doing that. So there you see it, right? There's the start of our base for our mixture for our oxtail. Now, a few more things are going to go in here after we get this part done. First, we're braising them. Then, things like the coconut milk and all that's going to go in there. We're not there yet. So, right now, we're going to put in just a little bit of the browning liquid. Just a little bit of it. We're going to stir that in. Get that all in there. Nice and good. Mix it up, mix it up. Then I'm going to put my oxtails in here. And they're going to braise for the first 2 hours before we come out and do the real wonder stuff to them and actually get this stew going. So, here's what it looks like now. Okay? Now it's time to get the starter showing its pop. We're going to get some braising going here, folks. I'm going to turn the heat down while I load these in. They've been marinating in all these good flavors all morning. Just look how beautiful they are. Oxtail. Nothing like it. It's, I like to say, it's like the good version of crack for most ethnic groups. Like, people just love it. It's like you can't get enough oxtail. No one can. So we're getting those in. And like I said, in about an hour, I will also start the goat stew. And dinner is going to be great today, dessert included. So we're just going to get these in. Then we're going to reach for that second bag and get those all in. I can't stir it the way I want to show y'all it, so I get it all in. The smells are amazing. Wash my hands real quick. Somebody needs to make smell vision. I'm trying to tell y'all so y'all can actually smell this stuff as I do it. The smell is incredible. It is a good cut. It's not like we're saving the bag. Sometimes they just don't want to come open. We're going to put the other ones in. Don't be worried if it seems like it's not a lot of space in the pot for them all, because you're going to keep stirring them and checking on them anyway while they're braising. So if you have a lot, it's alright. Just let it keep doing what it does here. Now with this last bag, I'm actually going to take some of that marinade and add it to the pot. Alright. You can't do that with pork or chicken. Those marinade. I did not realize that it had stopped recording. So what you missed was me adding the oxtails to the mixture right there. We also added some fresh rosemary, some fresh thyme. We also finally added the Worcestershire sauce and a little more of the red ketchup. Yes, I made this ketchup today, of the ketchup that we made. I will write y'all step by step if you want to know how to make ketchup. But today, right now, I don't have time to do that. But I will include it in the blog, because it is a pretty cool thing to know when you're out of ketchup, short on money, and your kids are like, we need ketchup. So right now, we got all of this added in. We got everything in here beautifully. We're going to put the top on. We're going to let it braise for about 2 hours. After it braises for 2 hours, we are going to come back and we are going to add our coconut milk. And then we're going to let these cook for about another 5 hours. 4 to 5 hours, depending on how I think they're coming along. But we have poblano in here, slices of it. We have other sweet peppers. We have dry rosemary leaves. We have browning, ground turmeric, 1 spoon of West Indian curry paste. We have some Sazon. We have a lot of different things in here. And we're going to let it cover. I'm going to take a picture because the color is so beautiful. I'm going to put the top on it and let it do what it do. My yuca is getting soft now as well, so I'll be able to work with that soon. So when I come back, some of the other things you're going to see me do is get the vegetable mixture ready to go into the slow roaster. But I'll be back in a bit. All right, everyone, I have returned. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. You might. But here's how the braising, the first 2 hours of the oxtails coming along. That top's going to come off in a while, and we're just going to let it do its thing. Now we're moving on to get our goat on. We have some large pieces of poblano. We have some diced onion. We have ginger. We have half a stick of lard. And we have some grapeseed oil. We are now about to put in the remaining portion of the item that I made earlier for seasoning. What I like to refer to as my personal wet seasoning. I make different variations of this depending on what I'm making. I've already explained what this was earlier in the video, so I'm not going to run through that again. Never put your blade for your food processor in the dishes, like if someone else is going to be doing dishes. If you do them yourself, it's fine. But my daughter helps me a lot with dishes, so I never do that because she could literally lose a finger. That thing is sharp. So just be mindful of things like that when you got other people helping you in your kitchen. But we're going to get the remainder of this in here. Our goat's been marinating for a while. The goat pieces are smaller and much more tender meat than the oxtails are, so they don't need to cook as long. Also, going to now soak our food processor. Alright, so we're going to get this going on high heat first. We're going to turn it down as we go. Some of the things that are going to go in our goat, other than things I already mentioned, again, we're going to use browning. Again, we're going to use some of the oxtail stew seasoning. We're also going to use some jerk seasoning and some curry paste. 1 spoonful, remember, because like I told you, it's very, very spicy. There's also some chop in there. We're also going to use a little turmeric. We're going to use a little cinnamon. And even just a small pinch of nutmeg. You also want mustard. So my son's father is Trinidadian, and him and his mother kind of taught me the importance of using mustard in your base for your curry. So I have a Dijon. You could have used any type you like. I actually marinated it along with curry paste, which you'll see when I take it out, with regular mustard as far as that part went. Turn that water off. Alright. We're going to put in, just like we did in the oxtail, a few fresh pebbles of coriander. There's going to be one thing that goes in here. Mix this up good. There's going to be one thing that goes in here that was not in your oxtails, and that's going to be cinnamon. Goat is very, 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 very similar. Put all that rosemary in texture and taste to lamb, and cinnamon and nutmeg both work so good on lamb that they also work very, very, very well with your goat. A little sazon, because when you're cooking something that's Caribbean, I feel like it belongs there. I know other people be like, why'd you put that in there? My recipe, not yours. Don't like it, don't put it in yours. You won't find me arguing with you about it. It's your, after all, it's your recipe. So, we're going to get this in. That nice teaspoonful of the spicy West Indian curry paste. Put that away. We are definitely not going to want any more of that in here. It'll be way, 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 way too spicy. I have another one of these, but right now We're going to put the Jamaican curry powder in. If we need more, we'll pull out the larger one. Alright, so I'm not sure what my phone is doing. It turned off, I think, on you right after I put the Sazon in. So after that, the things that went in were Worcestershire sauce, some jerk seasoning, some coriander, some cardamom powder, and browning. I am not sure why it turned off. That's becoming a bit of a pain. I guess I'm just going to have to keep watching the screen to see when things like that happen. So now we got that all in. We're going to turn the heat back up again. Like so. I don't know if my phone is just getting full and so it's starting to trip, but I don't appreciate it. I wish it would stop doing that. So we got everything kind of mixed up. I want to bring it back up to more heat before I add the goat meat in. Once the goat meat is in, we're also going to add and mix in a dollop of sour cream. I know y'all are like, why? I know y'all are like, no one does that. Well, I do. And it's going to be good. Y'all just have to learn to trust me. My madness is amazing, I know, but it works. So we're just mixing this all up good, making sure we got all our flavors that we want in here. Taste it. That's good. But it's going to be even better. Alright, we got a bubble going. I'm watching now to make sure this thing doesn't turn off on me again. I don't know why it's doing that. It did that to me earlier today too, and I was not appreciative. I realized it hadn't recorded a good bit of what you guys should have been seeing. So here are the goat pieces that have been marinated in that mustard and curry, like I said. I'm just going to cut this open so we can just go ahead and get this in here, hopefully. Alright, just getting it all in there. And making a mess of my clothes, I'm sure, because it's splattering towards me. Gently so you don't get burnt. Just get all your pieces of your goat meat in. I'm going to throw this away and wash my hands. Alright, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, and we're just going to start to stir this all around, coating and mixing. Coating and mixing, people. It's important. But yeah, that mustard step, I would have never known, but it is a very important step of Caribbean curry. Like I said, this was taught to me by my son's grandmother, whose accent is so thick, no matter how long she's been in the States, that I trust every bit of what she taught me and know this is the right way to do things. Alright? So you got that all in there, like so. Now it's time. This is where me and her's recipes might disagree, and she'd be like, oh, what are you doing? That was a terrible Caribbean accent. I don't know what that's like, but I love her accent. I'm not making fun of her and trying to be like culturally insensitive. I really love her accent. It's like the best thing in the world. And Miss Liz is her name. And I love hearing her talk. It is the best. Alright. So, let me get a spoon again. Isn't it amazing how dirty things get while you're cooking? Like how much shit you go through while cooking. I always tell myself, like, stop getting another spoon, use the same one, but it's so hard to remember that. Alright. So we got that in there now. And now you just want to coat everything smoothly and evenly in. We got to mix this yogurt around real good. Actually, that's not yogurt this time. It's sour cream. You can use yogurt or sour cream. They also act as a meat tenderizer. You won't taste them once they marry and mix with these other flavors. So don't worry about wondering what it's going to taste like. You won't taste it. They both have very mild, barely their flavors on their own. I promise you won't taste it. Just keep mixing it like so. You're gonna cover it and just let it simmer on low for hours, like literally hours. This is gonna be a slow and low cook. All right. If it's not totally mixed in, it will as you come back stirring it and checking it. Turn the heat up a little bit now again. Get your top on. Well, I'm going to put the top on after I take a pic, but there you go. Got the goat all in, got its mixture all mixed up here. And now we're just going to cover the lid on it and let it simmer. It looks crazy right now because everything hasn't married together. So it looks a little crazy. But once this braises down and simmers down, you'll be like, oh man, I see what she did there. This is so good. I tasted it already and it is perfection. So I didn't taste the meat, but I tasted what the meat is laying, and can't taste the meat. It's raw. But yeah, this is going to be really good. And there comes the heat and the bubbles. There it goes. Time to cover it. See you in a bit. All right, everyone. So as you can see, one of my yuca appears to have exploded while it was cooking along with the other. Actually, what happened was the other one stabbed it. So I need it a little stiffer. No worries, though, because I wanted it soft anyway. So I'm not really mad at that. Just kind of made my life easier. I can't complain about that. So you can go the hard way and try to deal with these when they're rock hard, or you can do what I did and kind of get them to this point, which I prefer. I can't speak for everybody, but this is how I prefer to deal with yuca. It's my first time cooking it. I sat down, I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to have to fight with all that skin. See how easily the skin comes off once you get it soft? It smells good so far from what I can tell of it. Let's see, texture and taste time. Oh, it's very pleasant. It's a little bitter. So we're gonna do some salt and a little sugar. And of course, all the other seasonings that we're gonna go in this. It reminds me of the taste of turnips, which I don't necessarily care for. But I'm sure I can get rid of this bitter. Just gotta cook it out of it and handle it a certain way, which I think is gonna be fine. But always taste things first, like I just did, so you can figure out, okay, what am I gonna do with something that has this bitter taste to it? And that's kind of what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. You have to do some salt, a little sugar, and our other curry flavors that we were already working with anyway. Definitely, definitely, definitely a bitter baby though. And but never be afraid to like experiment with new things. That's what this is for me. Me experimenting with something new. Because we're all used to like red beans and rice, which I am also making. And full disclosure, I'm using canned beans this time because I did. Guys, the video stopped again. I'm not sure why it's doing that. At any rate, I don't know, maybe my phone's running out of memory. At any rate, we're just peeling off the second yuca. Like I was saying, it tastes kind of like a radish or a turnip, so to speak. And so, all right, so we're getting ready to get into these plantains. I got my skillet on, my black cast iron. We're getting into these plantains right now. And what I do is a little different from my plantains. I absolutely positively added a little syrup to the mixture and some oil. We're going to go ahead and douse in some cinnamon. I'm also going to make some caramelized bananas in a little bit. But first we want to get this oil nice and hot for our plantain. Alright. I'm going to add a little salt too, because it's a sweet savory. I'm watching DMX's funeral, so that's what you hear in the background. That's what you hear in the background. Take the top off of my oxtails. Take the top off them oxtails. Let this reduce a little bit now. Alright? So we got a nice heat here. I'm going to go ahead and grab the plantain. So, my cutting board has some weird mixture going on right now. These are the garlic mints that I've got ready, prepared for when I make the, dropping stuff on the floor, prepared for when I make the steaks that, are for my family members that may or may not feel comfortable eating the food that I eat. I get it. Set this right here real quick. Hope it don't fall, because if it falls, I'm going to cry. So, we got this going. Got your plantains going. I'm going to get some tongs, because it'll be easier to flip them with tongs when they get to a point where we're letting this reduce down. This has been on forever, which is our oxtails. Not going to reduce down much. Man, it tastes so good. I tasted it as you got to do when you're cooking stuff. And it's bomb. So I did that. And oh my God, the goat is marvelous. It's to die for. So I'm going to grab my little drink. So let me tell y'all about this dessert that's happening. I made my own cookie dough mixture, if you will, this morning. Having a red stripe too. We in the Caribbean today, you know, so we gotta keep it moving. The rice is going. My rice cooker, my Emerald rice and air fryer has been tripping. I'm not sure why. I don't know, but I got a new pot anyway, so we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna pass this one down to my daughter, let her have it to cook with. But yeah, we're just letting these plantains cook till they get a nice crispiness on one side, and we're going to flip those over. I'm going to stir this oxtail pot. Let me show you what we're looking like over here. Look at that. I see some people making oxtail and it's missing color. Your oxtail is supposed to look like this, sweetness. They're supposed to look like this. This is what your oxtail is supposed to look like. I cannot wait to plate these because they're going to be gorgeous. Look at that. The gelatinous, just flavorful heaven that is a pot of oxtails. I'm going to turn it up a little more. We're going to get this done. Dinner is at 6, if we're lucky. Dinner is at 6. I'm getting my plates ready for plating. So just rinsing this off, if you guys can see. Getting ready. Not quite. We're going to turn them over and let them sit a little longer before we turn them over. My daughter Susan, she always finds a way to video bomb me one way or another. God bless her. I'm so excited about these cookies, y'all. I'm not, like, I've really gotten into, and we're also going to have, like, the bread pudding crumbled, and it's going to go in the oven with the cookies. The rest of the bread pudding that I had, we're going to get a little bit of more of a crisp to it, and it's going to go on the plates with the cookies and the ice cream. It's going to be so good. It's just a really good match to the Caribbean flavors that we over here creating, okay? So I will be back in a few. All right, my loves. So, we got Brussels sprouts in the oven. The plantains are just about done. Fried some, baking them to completion in the oven. Got that butter going. We're about to lay these steaks in there. I had that at a nice high heat. I'm going to take half of the garlic and put it in because we got another steak to do, so we ain't going to put all the garlic in there. But you just want to get that garlic in there. We got a whole stick of butter, we got a little grapeseed oil, we got a little Worcestershire sauce. Alright? So we're just getting it going. We can use our fork or our tongs to do this, whichever one you feel most comfortable with. Our oxtails are just about done. I'm peeking on our cabbage, which is also looking great. Got our Brussels sprouts in the oven also. Gonna give another stir to these beautifully braised. Look how colorful and just beautiful the oxtails are. So also, you know, give a stir to them. We're gonna make some cookies here soon. The rest of my family's gonna probably eat without me as usual while I'm finishing up dessert. With this back, because don't leave my phone get messed up. Don't be scared of heat. We're gonna let this keep going till it looks nice and caramelized and crisp on the other side. Letting it just go. Cast iron is wonderful for steak, y'all. Cast iron is wonderful for just about everything. So we're on this time. Cast iron is great. Thank God for whoever made cast iron. So we'll just continue to let this go while I sip on my red stripe, and I'll be right back in a minute. Just showing y'all how these oxtails are coming. Look at the braise on that. Look how beautiful they are. I mean, come on. You ever seen anything more beautiful than that? And the taste, ooh. The taste of the stew is on point. Just look at those beautiful, gelatinous, just thick and everything you could want oxtail. Yum. Dinner is almost ready. Got the steaks going currently. We're getting them steaks going. Get ready to flip this baby over in a moment. Alright guys, so we are about to do the cookies. My daughter popped out here saying she wanted to do them, then went in the room. How about I'm going to keep it moving. Alright. So we're just going to scoop. You know how to make cookies. You just scoop them on. Fingers are sticky. Oh, we forgot one very important thing though. 1 second. We are not about to have cookies that are stuck to the board. So what you see at the top of the pan is the bread pudding I made last Sunday. I've crumbled it up. We're going to let it get a crisp on it because it's going to be part of our plating for these cookies. Now here we go. Get nice sized little cookies here. Doesn't matter if they're exact circles. Just matters that they taste good at this point. I like to call these like drop cookies, like where you just put them down. Not sure what shape they're going to be. They're rustic, they're good, and we're going to see what happens. All right. I'm really proud of this because I made this cookie recipe up out of my head. So super proud of it. I'll make more cookies tomorrow. But tonight we're just making enough for dessert for everyone. Trinity, where are you? Thought you wanted to see the cookies or help. I'm doing them now. See, she doesn't listen well. What? She doesn't listen well. Anyway, so you guys see what I'm doing here. I'm just putting them on the tray. There's definitely going to be more cookies tomorrow because I got a lot of batter. Some of these might be a little bigger than others, which is not really what you want to happen, but this is what's happening today. All right. So, let me see if I can get a few more on here. Not sure. Again, this is the bread pudding we're going to use as crisp on the plate. All right. We should be able to get like 3 more cookies up there if we're lucky.
We got 6 more.
Nah. We're going to put walnuts in these while they bake. And then we're going to top them with the banana glaze that I made with cinnamon and syrup. And serve them with ice cream and molasses when they're done.
So you're not going to fill them anymore?
Well, when I said fill, I just meant something was going to be stuffed in on the top of them.
Oh, I thought you meant like, because me and my friend, we made Reese's stuffed cookies, and we stuffed.
We'll put this in the sink.
We stuffed it with a big piece of chocolate in the middle.
But did you just sit it in the top, or you actually stuffed it in there?
No, it was while it was baking, we stuffed it with a big piece of chocolate in the middle.
So we're just gonna put a few of these on. We want it to have a nice crunch. These are gonna be some big cookies. They might run together. Again, if they rustic, they rustic. We'll cut them into the shape they should be at the end. I am tired. I've been cooking all day. Literally been up since like 8 trying to get dinner done because these were items that had to slow cook today. So yeah, that part. But yeah, we're getting it done. This is the last part of dinner. I'm going to make the dinner plates now because, you know, these won't take long to cook, but these are dessert. So these don't have really anything to do with actual dinner itself. So we're going to go put this in the oven now. But there you have it. And I'll be back in a bit so you can see what they look like when they're plated and done whenever someone wants dessert. Be back in a bit. All right, so here's the 2 plates that my daughter and my significant other eating. We got some medium rare steak, red beans and rice, blue cheese crumble, and roasted Brussels sprouts infused with rosemary, garnished with green onion. Right, and here's the Caribbean style plate all finished. We got the cabbage and yuca. We have the curried goat. Let me get some better light for y'all. We have the curried goat here. Then we have that wonderful oxtail there. Red beans and rice. And a nice crisp fried plantain on top. Garnished with green onion. A little piece of the Caribbean right here. And I am about to enjoy this with my red striped beer. Yum. Here we have dessert. The caramelized bananas with the cinnamon bun ice cream on top of those warm brown sugar and walnut cookies that I made. We've got some molasses, which was in a pretty swirl that has now run into a puddle, and just a little touch of some bread pudding. So there we go. Really mad about how the molasses just ran like that. I guess because the plate is hot. But there you go.